I must have been 20 or 19.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was 2000. Must have been 2011 then. And we're like doing like 90 miles an hour in this Hummer. Like everybody's passing around. I wasn't smoking any of it, but like everybody's passing around weed, smoking weed. We're doing 90 down the interstate. We get to this guy. He was like some sort of like analyst for some corporation. I don't know. He had this really nice Miami Vice, beautiful mansion with a big ass yacht and beautiful home. And we get to his house, and then we get on the yacht, and like all these girls are like obviously Miami girls, high heels and everything. We get on the yacht, we set sail, and and he has like big flat screen TVs in this mega yacht or whatever. And all of a sudden, it was like the craziest like big black cock porn I've ever seen on all of the screens. It was just straight porn. Everywhere there was
the
fucking
same video, or just like he
the
had, like,
same video.
Okay.
Everywhere.
Okay.
And everybody's partying and drinking, and there's fucking cocaine everywhere. Okay, lines of cocaine everywhere. And I'm DJing, and I kind of quickly realized like why I was brought along.
Hey guys, welcome back to Millennial Mentality Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Agnelli, here with my co-host, Peter Price.
You.
And our guests today, Mike Wise and David Paul.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for coming on. As always, guys, thank you for watching, listening, viewing, and subscribing. Continue to tell your friends and family about that. It means the world to us. We're really just liking growing, meeting really awesome people, talking about life, the goods and bads, the ups and downs that come along with it, and the local area, because I think it's dope.
Hell yeah.
So you guys, Pete gives me a rundown. I would say 75% of the guests that come on, Pete knows more closer than I do. And when he gave me the rundown to you guys, it was pretty epic. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, you ever seen the show Entourage?
No.
Well, it's kind of thinking that, just like baller, very swaggy dudes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Local legends.
Legends that just have a confidence and an aura about them that is fucking sick. When they walk in the bar or the club that you're at, you're like, okay.
Did you feel it when they walked in?
Yes.
Hugs, you know?
Yeah.
Hugs off it.
Like silent killers, man. I can feel it. Are you guys born and raised local around here? Are you transplants? What's your stories? We'll start with
transplants.
I was born in West Palm.
Yep.
I was raised in the Bronx.
Okay.
And then my family moved back here in 2006, and I went to high school here. I went to the School of the Arts. So I consider myself...
Dreyfus?
Yeah, Dreyfus. Dreyfus School of the Arts.
Shit, shout out
to
Dreyfus.
Dreyfus,
I went
fam.
to
Let's go. Oh, let's go. Music fam in the building.
Hell yeah.
What'd you go there for?
I went to music, or
Really?
studied music there. Yeah,
Nice.
I studied music the first 2 years, theater the second 2 years. So I consider myself like a West Palm local.
All right.
Yeah.
What year did you graduate?
09. 09,
right.
so fine.
Hey.
All right.
So you got some dancing skills about you too?
No dancing
Really?
skills.
When Suavemente comes on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no crazy dancing skills, but yeah, just music. And then when I was in theater, I did lighting design and was backstage and whatnot. So
Cool.
So at Dreyfus, because it's right downtown there, was there like any like group of kids that would just go out after school and shit like that? Was that
always.
a thing?
That was
Really?
always a thing. That was
Really?
always a thing. We had half days, usually like once a month we had a half day. So like our days would start later. So you'd go in the morning and we would go to like Starbucks or whatever. And then like after school, everybody went out to see the place.
Yeah.
It was like the move, right?
Yeah,
You go to
yeah.
Starbucks, get your drink, go to Barnes & Noble's,
Yeah.
pretend like you can afford anything at Abercrombie
Yeah,
and Fitch,
yeah,
you know?
City Place
Remember
was
when that
different
was-
back then.
It was very different.
City Place was different.
Yeah.
That was still when it was like
Poppin'.
questionably dangerous too, though. It was like a
Yes.
little bit
This was
sketchy.
dangerous?
Yes.
Yeah, back in the
Really?
day, it was a little sketchy.
It was a little sketchy. It was like up and coming kind of.
Yeah.
And there was like spots that you can go and like make out with your girlfriend.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. This is like very specific. Very specific.
funny.
Yeah, like a map, like, where are we meeting?
Yeah.
They cover all the bases of a high
That's
school
right.
teenager,
That's so
you know?
funny, man.
I love that.
Now, for you, David, were you born and raised out here as well?
I was born here, lived here till I was about 4, then my parents divorced,
Okay.
and then I lived in like Key West, Tampa, Orlando, Pensacola, basically every major city in Florida.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then ended up back here maybe like 12, 13 years ago.
And what's been your favorite so far? Favorite area, I'll say. Not
what-
people, but area.
When I was a kid, I'd say Orlando, just
Yeah.
because, you know, Disney, Universal's there.
Sure.
But I hated Key West when I lived there.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, I don't know, like 10. And then,
Okay.
like,
Nothing
you
for
can't
you.
do anything by yourself there.
Yeah.
But even
Yeah.
over the age of like 21, what are you doing in Key West? You know, you're fucking
Other than
partying.
partying.
Yeah, you're probably partying.
That's it.
And I'm not a big fisherman.
Yeah, or fishing. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, like imagine living in Vegas full time. Like, you know, you meet a group of friends and like, what are you doing in
It must
Vegas?
be a wild lifestyle, I imagine.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen this dude Mickey, the gambler? I can't even think of his last name, but he's like crazy
Mickey
face
Mouse?
tat. No,
No.
man. he's a gambler, like a poker player and baccarat player, but he's got like a full blacked out tattooed hand and arm, bunch of face tats. But he's like blown up over the last few months as this like super high stakes gambler that has
Really?
like an incredible winning rate, like unheard of winning
Wow,
rate. He's
what?
got some sort of mathematics figured out for baccarat, which is supposed to be a game where the house
Yeah.
always has an advantage.
Yeah.
But he has won millions and millions of dollars, and he's like blown up this year because of it.
That's crazy. So it's like the new car counting, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Basically,
Kind of, and I know like 4 major casinos banned him.
He's
Like,
banned. He can
he's-
only gamble at 2 casinos in Vegas.
As
He's
of
banned
now.
from
It could
everywhere
Yeah,
else.
yeah, yeah,
Right,
that's right.
100%. And now that he's like just did a no jumper interview, and that's what I was thinking. It's
Yeah.
like he's really blowing up his spot. Like those places that he's allowed to go to probably are gonna be like, oh fuck, what are we doing? And
Yeah.
pull
So
the
if he
plug.
gets banned at all the casinos, where's he gonna go?
I don't really know, but that was gonna be my point. Is he lives full time in Vegas, and like he lives the Vegas lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
Dude, I could not imagine your life revolved around gambling and partying. Like the stress that must come along with that. Like, like you have a good night, great. I have a 100K swing, but then the next night you lose up 200K. You're like,
He
back down.
like
yeah,
he's cashing out with like millions
Oh,
and
yeah,
losing
yeah, yeah,
millions.
yeah.
You know, this shit's crazy. He also has an assistant, he said, that handles women for him. So like he'll have this person lining up dates for him throughout the night. He'll go on sometimes 3 dates with 3 different girls throughout the night that his assistant is lined up at different
That's
time
wild.
slots. Right?
That's crazy.
It seemed like Cap almost, but there was someone that was like calling him out and then went and like lived a whole day with him and was like, this guy really is
It's
fucking doing
legit.
this shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Like,
If-
It seemed hard to believe, but it.
if you were that rich and powerful, not powerful, but that rich and influential, would you have your assistant line up 3 dates for you?
I don't think that's really my
Vibe.
cup of tea.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're basically blind dating, kind of, you know,
Yeah.
ish.
Yeah.
But like you're viewing them as
your
subjects.
assistant's
But
just,
how
like,
do you
swinging
know
it
that-
every day.
Yeah.
You're
That's
like,
How do you know
this
that
is
these
the one.
girls aren't like just trying to date you for your money?
Straight
if you
up.
don't see them, if you don't meet them the first time, but you're gonna go on a date with them.
Correct.
Right.
I have a feeling he was saying the word date, but I think it was probably like they're waiting in a hotel room for him and he shows up. You know, I don't think he's
Okay.
going on dates.
A little meet and
Right.
greet, if
Right,
you will.
exactly. I think he just said date to make it
Yeah,
sound
This whole
better.
time he's like, I just really want to go out to dinner.
With a
Yeah.
MEAT.
Exactly.
And like the thing I think about is like, how does the assistant like pitch that? Like, oh, I have a
Yeah, right.
client that would like
Hey,
to.
Rebecca's waiting for you at 9
Yeah.
o'clock.
Right.
50 Shades of Grey, it's like that.
My lord would like to plow.
Enough-
Where are we meeting? It's like room 200.
Yeah.
Now,
Now,
enough money, people do whatever. I think.
where'd you guys both go after high school? Was it college life? Was it kind of living?
I did not go to college, and I'm glad I didn't.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
I always wanted to become an airline pilot, and my best friend at the time had turntables. He got turntables for Christmas, and so like in high school, we became our senior year. We became like the high school DJs, which was like the dopest thing at Dreyfus,
Hell yeah.
because then like the officials that ran the school let us like DJ during lunchtime.
No way.
Yeah, bro. Like we would just go out in the field and set up, speakers and just like,
That's
all right,
pretty sick.
have fun. Pep rallies, we DJ'd that,
That's
right?
awesome.
And when you say DJ, like non-explicit, like EDM vibes, or was it like Lil Wayne mixed in? Like
It was Lil Wayne. It was
Really?
clean version Lil Wayne.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we're talking about 08, 09.
Yeah.
So
No
that was
ceilings
like
or some
Yeah.
shit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
No
T-Pain,
ceilings is a
Flow
fire
Rider,
too.
yeah.
So-
That was like at the end of like when R&B was pop, and then
Yeah.
like 2000 end of 2009, 2010. That's when EDM became like a really big thing or whatever. So we were still in the hip hop, Justin Timberlake.
Have you always been DJ Mike Wise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a name that flows.
All right, so
The name behind it, or like the way you got
So-
it, is so good.
basically, fun fact, I thought in like 7th grade that I was gonna be a rapper.
Okay.
Sick.
Right?
Sick.
So I learned
freestyles really
I learned how to freestyle, and then in high school, me and all my boys, we would go around like to McDonald's at 4:00 in the morning, and we just throw in a freestyle in the car or whatever. And we
Yeah.
just start freestyling, right? And like in high school, one of my boys, he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna pass the mic over to Mike Wise, likewise." He said something to that nature,
Oh.
and everybody was like, oh, that's your name. That's your
Wow.
name now. So on MySpace, I changed my name to
On
Mike Wise. Just kind of
MySpace.
like everybody knew me as that. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I didn't find out his last name until like 4 years after knowing him.
Really?
I don't think I knew until you just said that wasn't your name right before the podcast.
So the best part about is that like
Yeah.
I'll get checks. Like my bank knows to cash a check in Mike Wise now
You're
because
kidding.
Shut the
people
fuck
write checks
up.
to DJ Mike Wise.
I mean, I've wrote you many checks.
Yeah,
in that
yes,
time,
you have.
And it was always Mike Wise, 100%.
Yeah.
That's funny as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Now,
So are we going to get a freestyle today? Or
Yeah,
what?
we gotta- we
This is
gotta-
the real question.
Not a chance.
After 2 more Happy Dads,
That
Yeah.
decade. Sponsor us.
anyone can talk, sir.
Yeah. No boys.
when
no
Right.
when you got done with high school and you're kind of riding this wave of music, did you fully go down that path? Were you trying to dabble your feet in that industry? What was it like?
It was completely naively, blindly circumstantial.
Okay.
I would tell you that right then and there. Going to Dreyfus set me up for a mindset that really put me where I needed to be. He always used to say like luck favors the prepared, right? That was his saying. I mean, you still say that now.
It's actually
right?
fire.
Yeah,
saying,
like
Yeah,
luck
good.
favors the prepared, because when you're prepared and an opportunity presents itself, then you just go in and you're just like, all right, let's go,
Yeah.
Ready
right?
for it.
So my entire DJ career has always just been like a situation where I had been DJing since high school. I went to this school where there was a lot of people that were going to UF, a lot of people that were going to Florida State, a lot of people that were going to FAU, right? A lot of frat boys and sorority girls who then the next year messaged us and be like, oh, you're the DJs from high school. We're throwing a frat party at Draft House in Boca.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right, so I go DJ that. And then the manager's like, yo, we throw this party on Friday nights. Can you come open? All right, I go do that. And then the DJ there is like, matter of fact, you play good for the last 4 sets that you've opened.
Yeah.
Can you do Saturday? And it just kind of like always grew from there unexpectedly. And I don't want to say that like it wasn't like a dabble as much as it was like all I had. I did not come from a wealthy family at all. Like
Yeah.
I did not have money for college or anything like that. So it was just kind of like, all right, here we are. Let's do this, you know? And we made a ton of money doing that. And it just kind of like snowballed effect, you know, all the way down. It's just been really great. It's
And
been
when
fun.
did you guys link up?
So, I don't know, maybe like 10 years ago or so.
Yeah,
it
it was
after high school.
2010.
Because I didn't know him during high school.
Yeah,
He
that's
went
right.
to Dreyfus and I went to Jupiter and I dropped out. So,
Dropped out of high school?
yeah.
Really?
Junior year, yeah.
Really?
Okay, I gotta hear this.
Just dropped out.
Really?
Said, fucking, I'm not going
I just
anymore?
would like always skip school. I'd sleep in class and I'm like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And I just dropped out my junior year and then started becoming a DJ. It sounded like the most douchebaggy.
But that was the
story
plan.
ever, but yeah.
But
That's kind of sick that
just
you
to
did
dive
it.
a little bit deeper though, like you can't sign yourself out. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh, yeah, my dad hated it. My
Okay.
dad- like everyone on my dad's side of the family is all doctors and lawyers.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
like,
Wow.
You have to get A's and then go to school. My mom's much more chill and like understanding, but he's just different. And like I was really shy in school, so I just wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I don't want to do this, and then dropped out.
So you think if you have a son, he comes to you as a junior in high school, he's like, "Pops, I'm done with this shit. I gotta bounce."
If he looks like he has promise, I'd be like, go for it.
Yeah.
Live your dreams. But if it just
And obviously, brother, it worked out for you, and that's amazing. I feel like at 17, I was so unoriented. Where if I would have dropped out,
Probably would have been bad.
I mean, I
news.
dropped out of college, so like I was kind of on this very similar path.
Sure.
But at 17, I feel like you obviously got swayed in a good way that drove you down a good path. You could very easily get with the wrong crew, and
Yeah, right.
your life could be toast. You
So
know?
what were at that age when you were dropped out? Like, what were your first next steps? you
I
know?
really didn't know. I think at that time I was working at Subway and Abercrombie.
Yeah. Sick.
You know,
That's a
yeah.
fire duo right there.
That is a
All
duo.
right? You get your clothes and
Yeah.
food
Yeah.
all.
Wait, the best part about it is that we both worked at the same Abercrombie.
Shut
Really?
At the
up.
same time.
Gardens
We didn't know
Mall,
each other.
baby.
We didn't
No
know each other.
way.
Yeah, Gardens Mall. We worked at the same Abercrombie. I was in the back folding clothes, of course. He's in the front.
Selling clothes.
I just stood there with like my collar shirt unbuttoned. I'm like, hey, what's up?
Hey.
Let
Let me ask you guys something. Did you not like have a headache from the cologne smell?
Always,
Yeah.
bro.
So, I thought it smelled good, not gonna lie.
No
But-
way.
For a 12-hour
like,
shift
But
though?
before like you would open, you'd literally spray like half a bottle on like each man.
Everything.
Really?
Yeah,
Shut
yeah,
up.
yes.
Oh
that was
my
it.
God.
It's a go around.
They're
And,
like unbranded just spray bottles. And you're just like.
and they also had, you have like the
Wow.
Glade automatic
Yeah,
things?
yeah, yeah.
They had those, but it was Abercrombie.
Shut
What?
the
Yeah.
fuck up.
Because I remember you'd walk
Abercrombie
by.
exposed.
You'd walk by in the mall and you wouldn't even know it's there. You could just smell
you're
the
like-
radius of
Yeah.
perfume around.
Abercrombie nearby.
Yeah.
200 feet.
The fumes were okay. It was
The
they had,
fumes.
Just don't spark a lighter.
But,
exactly.
They had a CD that would have like 20 songs on it.
Yeah.
And it would just play over and over. So like the song Fireflies from
Oh my
City.
god, that's a good song. That is a good song.
It's a
But
dope
like
track.
it's burned in like my
Yeah.
head
That's so
after
funny.
hearing it so many times.
Yeah.
So that's where you guys initially linked up.
No, I
You didn't know each other working
no.
there? That's funny.
So we talked about this in the
I
car.
knew this
and
was
I was
gonna
like,
come
here
up.
comes the story.
Here it comes.
So I was maybe like less than a year into DJing. I
Uh-huh.
was like a bedroom hero where I just like play to a wall and just practice.
Yeah.
Mike was doing gigs,
Uh-huh.
and then I have a dad who's like somewhat well off, and he bought me like the best DJ turntables you can have at that time.
Sick.
Like CDJ 2000s when they first launched, DJM Nexus 900, like literally the best. With like a
Yeah.
case that lit up and everything.
Wow.
This is like Zed was
But
playing
I'm
on
not,
this
but I'm
shit.
not,
Wow.
but I'm not doing gigs.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
except
yeah.
for like a private party for like a friend or whatever. And then Mike like messaged me on Facebook. And then he's like, just because you got turntables that are expensive. And I'm like, who the fuck is
You
can we
little
curse
bitch,
on-
bro.
Yeah, can we curse on this?
Yeah, fuck
Alright,
yeah.
so I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And it's just, I'm just getting berated.
That
Yo,
is so
I'm not gonna
funny.
lie. I wish I could go back and find it. I 100%.
Savage.
That was
Half-ass back
petty
there folding
me.
clothes, little bitch. I ain't forget none of this shit. Good luck getting your first gig.
Yup.
Yeah.
Funny, bro.
Yeah, talking mad shit. And
Savage.
I don't know the time between that and then like my friend had us like link up. I was like, my friend's a DJ and then he's a DJ and then you should hear him play. So he like came over to my house. It was super awkward. I was DJing on my expensive turntable, trying to like show off for him. Played the worst set of my life. And
I thought it was good. I thought it was a really
Did
good
you?
set. Yeah,
I
actually.
don't know. I-
Yeah.
So you were in front of two people?
Pardon me?
You were in front of like two people?
No, it's just me.
just him. He's
Yeah.
like so. I lived in Abacoa in this
Yeah.
like 3-story house.
Yeah,
I had
yeah,
the-
yeah.
I had the whole first floor. My mom and sister lived on the second.
Yeah, I know
and third.
exactly what you're talking about.
So he just sat on my bed, and I just had like my turntables in front of like.
It's like
my bed.
auditioning. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like trying to serenade you with like Black Eyed Peas. And then, yeah, he's like, yeah, it was good. Then we started doing Jumpy together. That's
Yeah.
what
My hump.
Really? Jumpy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jumbie Bay, bro. That's where it all. That's where it
Hey.
went.
That's
Uphill
when
or
we became
downhill.
friends,
Yeah.
yeah.
Shout out Vicky.
Could you
That's
imagine
not-
like trying to
serious.
like do the DJ thing in front of one person though? Like you get.
No,
like,
it sounds
are-
real awkward.
Are you
Put
getting like
your
the
hands
crowd?
up.
There's been nights. There's been nights.
Like talking in the mic. Come on.
Put your hands up.
You're like single person. Have a drink.
It's not in the biz discount, so you gotta.
We got any birthdays in the house? Where all the ladies
It's like
at?
one. It's one lady. You're like, where my single lady at?
I'm here with all my friends.
So you passed the audition though,
I
huh?
guess so. I feel like I shouldn't have, but I wonder where our lives would have been like if
It would
you were
be
like,
so different.
If you're like, nah, David, you're not it.
It was
It
just the
would've been
next step
so
to the
different.
burn, you know? At
Yeah.
first he Facebook messaged you, but then it was like, I gotta show up and diss him in person.
Right?
Yeah.
Sorry, man, don't make the
I'm like, I
cut.
gotta fight this dude in my own house.
Man.
Well, Mike would play after David, so you just say, just leave your turntables there. Actually, just leave your stuff. You're good.
Oh, I have no idea who I thought I was
That's
messaging
so,
him like that.
right. I feel like that's very out of character for you today.
Extremely. I would never do that now. I learned a lot, but like
Beef off
back
rip.
then, right off the rip, right out of nowhere, we didn't even know each other.
That's so funny.
So how long? You said there was a few months after that you guys started playing Jumpy together?
Yeah. So, Jumbie Bay. Oh my gosh, that was another wild epic saga there. So, my mentor flew airplane banners for Jumbie Bay.
Okay.
So
Really?
he texts Vicky, and he's like, "Hey, I know this DJ. You should bring him in."
Okay.
So she's like, all right, sure. They bring me into DJ one night. She's like, I want to put you on Wednesdays for flip night.
Yeah.
Yeah, flip night, yeah. So I show up there, and another DJ is like already set up. I'm supposed to go on at 9. Another DJ's like already set up at 8:30, and he's like, what's going on? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. Vicky booked me for tonight. I don't know what the situation is. You know, maybe we just call her a text or whatever. And like, she just never told him that he was fired.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's awkward again.
Extremely awkward. So he ended up packing up his stuff and leaving. So him and I are actually really close friends now because we've been DJing together as well in the same company for like the last 6-7 years or whatever.
Okay.
And so yeah, so we DJ'd at Jumbie Bay together, and it was just that was a whole epic.
I feel like I learned a lot there.
Yeah.
About DJing. Yeah.
I was fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because it's such like a different
Niche crowd, yeah.
So you'd have to play one genre and then immediately know to go to a different instead of just like EDM all the
Correct.
time.
Right.
Because Jumpy Bay has a quick turnover. I feel like from like 5 to 9, it's definitely families who live in Abacoa. Little Johnny just got done with the baseball game. And then like after that, from like 10 to 2, it really fucking goes crazy there.
Yeah. And like back then at that time, downtown at the Gardens wasn't built.
Yeah.
Right.
And all you had downtown on Clematis Street was Feel Goods. Off the Hookah wasn't here at the time.
Damn.
So
That's
you had Feel Goods.
Abacoa used to have a hookah too. Y'all remember that?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
That guy used to let us in there underage as
Yes,
fuck.
that's
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, he was
I
the
remember
man.
that.
Shout out to that dude, wherever
Wherever you are nowadays.
He was the
I
man.
wasn't a degenerate. I went to the movie theater when it was
Yeah.
I forgot they had a movie theater there.
Yeah.
Wow.
They had a Haagen-Dazs.
Abacoa?
Oh my god,
Yeah.
yeah, they did have a movie theater.
And then they just tore it down for the fuck of it, really.
Yeah, that's really the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it
I
now?
feel,
You know who else used
parking
to?
it's just it's literally
I
so
know, it's a
loud.
Marriott. I think a Marriott.
No,
Oh, it was a
where the movie theater was literally an open lot.
open
Hadn't
lot.
been touched.
Wow.
Just fucking
Let's
grass.
buy it and put a movie theater. Now's the best time to open up.
I feel like Cobb definitely fucking paid him off.
Yeah.
Yo, for
Cobb was
real.
eliminated from
For real.
Yeah. Because Cobb went up and that bitch went
Yeah.
down extra
Yeah,
fast.
Like,
so
real
they
quick.
recycled it. They
Also-
had the seats.
Also, shout out to JJ Muggs for letting me in underage too.
Yeah,
Muggs,
JJ Muggs.
Muggs.
That's true. That
Oh,
place
I
is the
remember
shit.
that, yeah.
It's not JJ. It's Stadium Grill now.
I think a Stadium Grill or
It's still the same owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Same owner.
same piece.
So,
Good
Classic.
memory.
how did you transition from Jumbie to, I guess, different
What was the next
bars?
step?
Yeah, what was the next step?
All right, so Jumbie Bay, we did that. We were opening up, and it was just a matter of like going out to different places and like networking with other DJs, right? So we opened up for some DJs at Off the Hookah, became friends with all of them there. They were the same DJs that we used to hang out with back in Ibiza. Did you guys ever go to Ibiza? Like it was off of like Congress and like Forest Hill.
Oh, I thought you meant Ibiza, the
Oh
country.
no, not the country, not.
That's Ibiza?
I mean, say
Is that proper?
Yeah, I think so.
I
think
think
so.
so.
Anyone who's like been there is like, I've been to Ibiza.
Yeah, right. I heard it in a video yesterday. I was like, listen to this idiot.
Yeah.
You got a list or something?
Yeah, what is that?
But no, there's a club off Forest Hill that like it was. I think
Yeah,
it was
bro.
18 and up.
It was
at the
18
time.
up in like some like Winn-Dixie Plaza.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay.
All right, and
Okay.
it popped off on Thursday night.
Yeah,
It was cool.
It
Yeah.
was
I
lit.
remember my first goal, like when I started DJing, I was just like, I don't care about festivals. I want to play here.
Yeah.
Damn.
That was like
Off the hookah?
Like, top
That
tier.
Ibiza back then, that was Off the Hookah.
Really?
Yeah, that was
Really?
it. Yeah.
Okay.
See, I never went to Off the Hookah either. That was on Clematis?
Yeah.
On Clematis Street.
Really?
Yeah.
And that was a straight hookah bar, or was it like a club?
No, it was a club. You could
Yeah.
order hookah there, but it
Really?
was a
It was
full-on
always
nightclub.
busy.
Mm-hmm.
So
You,
just
you
walk
heard
in-
about it on Kevin in Virginia.
Yeah, I
I'm sure,
did.
right?
I did. Would you just walk in and be a cloud of smoke, like hookah smoke?
It was more of like the light fog.
It
Yeah.
wasn't as intense as Abercrombie and Fitch.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a
Yeah,
good
if
metric.
you can
And,
survive
like-
that, you can smoke.
Yeah.
It was more like very much more nightclubish. So like you only got hookah if you had a table.
Okay,
Yeah,
If you had a
understood.
table, you know.
Understood.
And
Yeah.
low key, they had the best food.
They did have really
Did
good
they?
No one
food.
knew. Yeah,
Hmm.
they had such good food there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, have you guys ever heard of the Kavorka?
Oh.
Kavorka.
So, we had Reed Ferguson and Chris McDavid.
Oh,
on there.
That
gosh.
episode, yeah.
Okay, and they speak of this thing called the Kavorka. And Kavorka is basically swagger, game.
You ever watch Austin Powers?
Yes.
You know how Austin Powers has the mojo?
Mojo.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
the Kavorka.
Kavorka.
I
Okay.
guess, you
All right.
So, do you feel that as a DJ?
I think
Yes.
know? Yeah.
I have a theory that I am like a 4 in real life.
Yeah.
But when I DJ, I'm like a solid 9. I can swing,
Yeah.
I can swing out my league. Like,
Wait, what?
ask
Swing
any-
out of his league. You
Yeah.
say.
Oh,
yeah.
oh,
Ask anywhere I DJ, I play a lot of girly music.
Okay.
Shout out to Taylor Swift.
Hey.
But yeah,
Really?
That's funny, man.
you get them all singing and make a lot.
Well, I was telling him before you guys got here, like, man, you should see these guys. Whenever they go downtown, they'd like make a reservation at Lenore's when I was there for like 12 people. They show up for the party at 12. Mike and David are the only guys in the party at 12.
Yeah, that's pretty
and they'll
much
just
it.
get a long ass table full
Yes.
of girls. And they're like Dan Bilzerian and Dan Bilzerian. You know? Like,
They call me Dave
the,
Bilzerian.
the black
yeah, right.
the black
So it's
Dan
what it's like.
Bilzerian.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, are you guys single in relationships?
In a relationship.
Okay.
I am. He's
Single
been
and
perpetually
ready.
single.
Single and
Okay.
ready.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Single and been mingled.
So, Dave, Do you call Dave or David? What do you?
I hate being called Dave. Just David.
David. Perfect.
Party Dave.
Yeah. So do you have like a move, like say you're in a booth? First off, are you the one ear in, one ear out DJ? Are you
For
both?
headphones?
Yeah.
I wear it around my neck, and then a lot of times I'll just do this.
Okay.
To hear one, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so because
Yeah.
I always
That's
thought
a
it was a
good question,
myth.
I
I
guess.
always thought there was nothing in the headphones.
No,
Actually.
so the headphones-
I hear that all the time.
Yeah.
People are like, "What do you listen to?" I'm
Yeah,
on
yeah.
podcast, bro.
Yeah.
Millennial Mentality.
Yeah, you never heard that podcast? Sign up.
That's great.
So what's your move though? Like, say you see a very attractive girl
I
down there.
have-
Do you do the finger
No,
community?
I have zero game. I'm
Okay.
like a shy, dorky nerd. I know no one believes it.
Okay.
But I really am. So a lot of times I'll just like,
Maybe that is your game.
it turned
Thank
into my
you.
game where like I'll ignore you until you come up to me.
Okay.
But no, a lot of times I'll like try to like see like your friend group and like try to play music for them to be like, oh,
yeah.
they'll look up and then I'll like make eye contact with you and be like, yeah, it's for you guys, and then they'll come up and be like,
Okay.
you're so good. I'm like, hey, what's your Instagram? Yeah, and it just comes from that.
Is that the next step these days? Is it the phone number or an Instagram handle?
I could care less about phone number. I'd rather
I feel
get
like
an
Instagram handle's
'cause
it,
I,
yeah.
Like I feel like I live a pretty cool life, so like you get to see. What I'm
Okay.
Sure, yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
That is crazy how that is the new
Yeah.
thing, you know? Because I feel
It
like
makes sense.
I guess it engulfs everything in one. You can message them.
Yeah.
You can kind of see about their life. Are they batshit crazy? Are they like compatible? I guess you could say. You know.
I remember back in the day, it was like you'd be like somebody call them,
Yeah.
like call them, talk to them on the phone.
No. Oh, well, yeah, I
Yeah.
do remember that, actually.
Yeah,
My
like-
first girlfriend's calling the house phone.
House
and then,
phone.
Like, their
Yeah.
dad picks
Dial-up.
up, hey, is
Yep.
Haley there?
Yeah.
And then they're listening on the other line. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, my God. I used to go take the other house phone
Yeah.
to make sure no one was
But
listening.
what
that's
about like
smart.
when
Yeah.
dial-up became a thing and your mom got pissed off because you're on the phone and she needs you to
Yeah. Where
Like,
Asian
I'm
My
people
dad,
now.
if a girl called the house for me and my dad answered the phone, he'd be like, oh, yeah, one sec.
Hey Pete, put your Barbies away. You got a phone call.
Fucking asshole.
Dude, that's such a crazy thought that our kids will never know of this shit. You know, it's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, right.
insane.
My girls call me on my beeper. Hold on.
Yeah. Now, with having these groups of girls come up, are there some nights you walk in and you're like, dude, I'm here to play my fucking set and leave? Or are you like mingling most nights to see what hits you type thing?
I'm not a people person,
Okay.
really. So like a lot of times I'll just go and make my money and disappear.
Okay.
But like Mike likes to stay out. I never drank till I was like 24 years old. So
Really?
Yeah. So I was
Really?
just like,
So from 17 you dropped out and you didn't drink till 24.
right.
Wow.
It was my fault.
Yeah, kind of. I always say he's like a villain because he's always like, just one more drink. I'm like, no, dude. He's like, just one more, dude.
Now, have you ever been in a serious relationship?
Yeah.
And-
Like 8 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So you've been mingling for a hot minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not. DJs aren't boyfriend material.
Oh, okay.
Mike, you got anything to say about it? Mike's a pilot. You're a
You
retired
learn.
DJ.
Yeah.
You learn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
After a decade of doing this, you learn to grow up and you learn what you learn how the business works.
Okay,
Yeah.
that transitions me actually into another question. Mike, are you a retired DJ or are you still a DJ?
I retired. I retired temporarily this year.
Yeah.
Now I'm back. It
Okay, it was a brief.
was a brief
hiatus.
retirement, and then I moved to New York, and I was like,
New
"There's
York
no
needs
way
Mike Wise.
I can't." Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
just too lit over
Are
there.
you pilot Mike Wise or like Captain Wise?
Captain Michael Espinal?
Oh,
they,
okay,
they
okay.
call you by your
Yeah,
government.
and everybody's so shocked because like when I'm off work, I'm like giggity and like
Yeah.
whatever. But like
Giggity.
That's not what I would
Yeah.
giggly, I don't know, whatever. But like
Too much
when I'm in the
crazy.
flight deck, and especially like as a captain, I am very stoic. I am very about the business.
Such a good adjective.
Yeah, I'm like.
So
very-
you're not the funny pilot though, because I fuck with the funny pilots. Like whenever I get on
Oh,
a
I
plane,
am.
yeah,
100%. We did a flight from it was Newark to Key West the other day, and I got up in the front in the galley, and I was like, "Hey, welcome aboard. You know, I'm assisted by First Officer this, and our two lovely flight attendants here primarily for your safety, but also for your comfort. Quick question: if anybody has room on their boat for 4 people asking for a friend, that'd be great. Anyways, Key West, 2 hours, 30 minutes,
That's
cruising
what
out
I'm
to
Perfect.
keep it fun, you know.
Yeah, I
Dude,
like it.
I saw this meme a few weeks ago. And it was like a face of a guy shocked as fuck, and it was like when the pilot goes to the bathroom during their flight, and you're like, "Wait, what the fuck is going on?" You know? Like,
Who's flying the plane?
That's not okay.
Me and JoJo went to Kansas City a couple months ago, and right as the pilot's like saying whatever he's saying, like the pre-flight stuff on the intercom, as soon as he finishes, JoJo's brother leans to me and he goes, did he sound nervous to you? I was like, that is not what you want to hear. Didn't that pilot sound kind of nervous?
You just hear like, he's like, click, and he thinks it's on. He's like, what's this button do?
Like, Xavier, shut the fuck up.
So how the fuck we push off?
What's break again? Or?
Yeah. I'm sure you see a lot of crazy shit flying these days.
Always.
Yeah.
And nothing surprises me anymore.
Do you feel like there's a lot of crazy shit on planes and in airports because there's a heightened sense of anxiety because of people flying and shit, or you think just the craziest people go on planes?
I think the craziest people go on airplanes.
Yeah.
I think they just haven't flown in a long time or don't know the etiquette.
Yeah.
And I think as a society, like, we're just more, I don't know if accepting is the term, but like people are just kind of like do whatever the fuck they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, before you had some sort of respect for the crew and where you were going and this and that. Now people are just, I don't want to say, I don't want to use this word, but I'm using it, entitled.
Yeah, absolutely.
That, you know, they have an attitude and they think they can just do. And I think that's just like us growing up in the 90s, we would never do any of this shit, right? Like, I remember going in, like, before we'd go to a store, I grew up Dominican, all right? Before we entered any store, I used to get a nice old smack in the face. And I was like, what?
Wait.
Don't touch anything when we get in there.
That was the pre-slap, okay?
Like walking into Publix, your mom would be like, wait, hold up.
Bah!
Really?
And I'd be like, what was that for? She says, if you break down, if you cry, if you ask for anything, that's what you're going to get after.
I'm going to start doing that before we walk.
That's good.
Right?
You see Mike turn
Another shot.
If you ask me for another drink.
But I just think that our society nowadays is just so much more outward in terms of personality and in terms of expectations that everybody has. Younger people, older people, doesn't matter. That people just come off as crazy. And they do. Like, there was like this article, I'm sure you guys read it, where this lady was like breastfeeding her cat or something like that.
Oh my God, I saw that.
But it wasn't a real cat, right?
No,
like that?
No, it was.
It was a cat.
It was a real cat.
She was claiming it was a baby. She was claiming she was breastfeeding her baby, but there was a kitten under the
I
thing.
skipped through it and it looked like it was like
the video that you saw
cat.
probably there was a fake one going on TikTok.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like a little
But yeah, it was that's nuts.
My thing is she's depriving her because you got to make breast milk by having a fucking kid, right? So she's straight up saying Johnny's not getting milk tonight.
Right?
I don't think the kid ever existed. I think the kid was fake.
How the fuck you making breast milk then, Pete?
How does that work?
You think he was just sucking the titty?
Yeah, I think she just wanted to bring the cat on the plane. She wasn't actually breastfeeding anything.
So
it wasn't even about that. It was about bringing a cat. See, that's wild. Right.
Yeah.
I don't think she wasn't breastfeeding anything.
Oh, I thought
she
she
wanted
was
to bring her
literally-
kitten on the plane, and the way to do it was to pretend like she was breastfeeding a baby.
It's like covered up.
I see.
Okay.
You couldn't see anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
And some guy was like allergic to cats sitting next to her, and he goes, "I swear to God, I just saw a fucking cat under that blanket, and I'm allergic to cats. It's bothering. Like I'm having an allergic reaction right now, and I swear I just saw a cat."
Do you know if they
under there."
kicked that lady off the airplane or not?
I don't know what the outcome was, but they
Yeah.
did make her move the blanket and saw it was a cat. So she got exposed. I'm sure they
insane.
fucking kicked her
That's
off the plane.
wild.
the one thing that's
No, they
obvious.
upgrade her to first class.
Yeah, right.
Or
Shut
first
the fuck
cat,
up.
I guess.
You know, the thing that annoys me is like political beliefs aside, like when you buy a plane ticket, obviously you know now in 2021 you have to wear a mask to be in the airport and to be on the plane. Again, in general, I'm not a big mask guy. I don't really like wearing them. I don't think anyone likes wearing them. But I know when I go into an airport and on a fucking airplane, I gotta wear a mask.
Right.
Shut up, put the mask on for 4 hours, and that's it. And the fact that people know that going into it and still try to defy shit, it's like, dude, just drive or don't go,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And the fact that they know going in, some people just like to stir the pot, and then they know going into it, it's like, it's going to be a problem, you know?
It's like when people show up to the club without an ID. It's like,
What do you want me
buddy,
to do?
what do you
Yeah.
like? And they expect to be let in, but like, it's a dude. Why would you come to a place where you know ID's required without your ID? You know,
Was
like,
Sting a thing downtown
What?
at all? Sting, like, so when I worked at Ale House, it was like this group of government workers who would go into bars, like fake underage, and see if you'd ask them for your ID or like.
oh. Yeah,
I
is
worked
that
in
called
clubs.
Sting, or that's just what when someone
like
sends
a
someone in
sting
undercover? It's a
operation?
sting.
What Sting? They called it like
like a
Sting.
Sting
Yeah,
operation.
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought
We
you
had
meant
that here.
like it was
We
a-
had that here for a while.
Yeah.
a
Yep.
thing. Yeah,
I've
absolutely.
been in clubs.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna mention any names, but they're like, the police are here. Like,
That's it's
undercover.
the ATF that does it. It's
Yeah.
Okay.
that's
Yes.
constantly happening everywhere. across the
Really?
country.
Okay.
Yeah, at all bars.
Because I always wondered, what did it ever happen when you were working?
Well, we never got caught for it,
Are
but
you
I would be what?
I'm like, are you a narc?
Yeah, what are you asking?
Yeah, right. Were you there last Saturday?
We never got in trouble for it, but I would be shocked if when I was at Kachina, the old Kachina, if we didn't have undercovers in there checking.
Now, what's your favorite place to play in West Palm right now?
I like Datura because
Okay.
the crowd. I know it's biased, but it's like I know the crowd there is so educated with music where I can play anything and they'll know what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how about you?
Yeah, Datura.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, when you go into a set at nighttime, what's your set? Usually like 10 to 2? When
Yeah,
is-
usually depends on when the bar closes, but it's either gonna be 10 to 2 or 12 to 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you go in, is it simply like whatever you're feeling in the car right on the way there, like, or do you go in saying I'm playing set 2? Like how does that whole thing come together?
A lot of it's like reading the crowd. Honestly, it's like racial profiling. Like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
bunch of white girls probably gonna want some like white girl music. You
Correct.
see some urban people
Yeah,
play a
yeah.
little hip hop.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So, but like I never know what I'm gonna play, but like I have like a rough idea of just
Mm-hmm.
by like the location that I've been there so many times. I know what works.
Correct.
And then just the people that can figure out like what they want to hear.
Do you ever feel like I feel like as a stand-up comedian, sometimes you'll say like a line or do something and like you won't get the laugh from the crowd you were
Yeah,
expecting.
yes.
Do you ever get that as a
Yes,
DJ?
100%.
You're like, fire, this next banger's
Yep.
coming up, and just no one
Yep,
moves.
and you get no response, and you're like, all right, well, time to switch it up
Yeah,
real
yeah,
quick.
yeah,
You're
Yeah.
like, like literally like they don't say anything, but you're like say no more. I
Yeah,
get it,
yeah,
I
yeah.
understand.
I feel like if you ever feel like the vibe abruptly changed at a nightclub, like next time you go to a bar or nightclub and there's a DJ and it just abruptly went from hip hop to house music,
There's a reason.
look around,
Yeah,
and there's
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
a reason. Or like house music to like pop or pop down to Spanish or something
Yeah.
like that. Look around. Generally, it's like, wow, that didn't work. We need to switch out of this real quick
correct.
before
Or
Pete
some
yells at me.
manager just texted you and is like, yo.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Now, is there a specific genre you like to play the most just personally? You know?
Yes.
What is that?
I like throwbacks.
Okay.
Same.
And when you say throwbacks, like 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s?
2000s and early 2010s.
Okay.
I like R&B like that, like love making music. Like my favorite time of the night, like the beginning and the
Love making it.
yeah, like the middle part's always the same. Like,
Yeah,
you always
yeah.
hear like the same things on the radio and like all like the bangers.
Yeah.
Sure.
But at the end, I love that like last 30 minutes where you get to play all like the Usher and all that, where it's like, like
He starts eye fucking people in the crowd.
I'm like, these are my confessions.
Yeah.
So you said something about 1, 2, 3 a second ago that like you feel like the crowd there is like more educated music wise.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's ever an issue where like you play one of those bangers that you think's about to slap because it's like new
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
just found it, but people want to hear something that they know? You know,
All the
like
time.
it is a
Yes.
banger and it's perfect for that moment, but they don't know it, so they don't accept it.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. That's
Yes.
literally probably the hardest part about DJing is playing new stuff.
Yeah.
But like people have to enjoy it or like it because everyone wants to know what's familiar.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
they
yeah.
want
Right.
to dance to songs that
Right.
they can sing. So if you don't know a song and I play it, how are you gonna?
And it's difficult too because what's posted on the top 40 chart on your Spotify or on the radio or whatever doesn't necessarily correlate to what's really top 40 in a nightclub or a bar.
Correct.
Right? So the top 40 on the chart or whatever, a lot of those are really influenced by like, you know, the agents and the radio publicity and the record label publicity teams and stuff like that. But then you go to a bar and people want to hear old school Kanye.
Yeah.
Right? They want to hear the new song from David Guetta, "All I Need Is Love Tonight." I think I don't know the name. I play it all the time. I don't know the name of it. But anyways, they want to hear that track.
All I
Right?
need.
That's the track, right?
is
But when have you heard that?
love. Yeah.
When did you hear that on Wild 95.5 or on your Spotify
Yeah,
and top
right,
40?
yeah.
Right? You know, records
Absolutely.
like that. So there's always that like wrench in the plan where you hear some little Nas that just came out that slaps and then you play it and you get no response and you're just like, well, I'll just go fuck
Yeah.
myself. Here's Beyonce for the 10th time tonight.
It's crazy in love.
Enjoy.
Like it's so annoying. You'll see our face and be like, oh, like
Right.
now I gotta play this normal stuff.
So we had Nick Flash on here for a previous episode, and he said like one of his biggest pet peeves as a DJ is not when the guests make a request, but when the manager kind of micromanages your set and tells you, you know, what direction to go in. And you kind of mentioned it before, like sometimes you might get a text from the manager,
Yeah,
like, hey, switch
yeah.
it up. Would you agree with Nick Flash? Like, is that...
I'm fine with the manager every now and then being like, hey, like we're about to do like a birthday, like play like some like,
Sure.
hype stuff or whatever. But if like every song you're like, what is this, whatever, like I it's not an ego thing, but it's like you hire
You
me.
booked me for a reason.
Yeah, you hire me as an artist, and like I'm like 10 plus years in the game. Like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's circumstantial.
Yeah, sure.
Right. I think that there are times when you have a manager who's not in the biz, who
Right.
comes from the regular restaurant industry to manage a nightclub and doesn't understand how the floor works throughout the night. A person like that probably shouldn't be calling the shots, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody who's been working at that bar for a very long time knows exactly what needs to be played and is gonna conduct the music, you know, like there's times when like at Datura, Coda would be like, "Yo, Mike, let's do this." He knows exactly when and where something, and I'm like, "You pay, you sign my check," you know, or like at Cucina, you'd be like, "Yo, all right, let's bring it up, let's bring the tempo up.
We're gonna do the club cannons.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like
right.
you know that type of situation. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. You know, that never annoys me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, not to beat a dead horse, but I talked about when you say you put on a bad song, not a bad song, but a song that doesn't hit. Say you do like 3 of those. Do you have one like "Save Myself" eject song that comes to your head that you know is
We have
gonna
a
work?
folder. We have a folder of bangers of party hype music that we know is just gonna like, all right, fine, here you go.
What's the first one that pops up in your head?
I stepped into my club at 7, I don't care.
I don't care. I love it, bro. Every time, bro. I don't even know the lyrics to that song, but every time, that's the save, bro.
You only just said like 3 of the words and we knew the song. You're like,
you
"And
knew it."
that's something I don't care.
he just came out of retirement. He's still a little
Bro, that's the hype track right
That's
there.
You know his
Bro.
next set, and he opens with that.
And whenever he plays, I just look at him and be like, "Oh, you fucked
Oh,
up."
okay.
Right. So next time you're at a bar or at a club and you hear that track go on,
It was an emergency.
Yeah.
Now you are obviously in a happy relationship. I'm not going to say this pertaining to you, but in a lot of flights I leave, like I see the pilot kind of like flirting with the stewardess, you
Yeah,
know, and
yeah.
the flight attendant. It's
Yeah.
kind of like a vibe, you
Yeah.
know. Do you see a lot? Is there like a lot of hookup culture between flight attendants and pilots?
there's a good amount of hookup
Really?
culture.
Well, you were just
Yes.
telling us before we were on the
Yes.
camera about, what do you call it? The place where
The
all
crash pads.
Right. So I can
Yeah.
only imagine if there's already that kind of
There
environment.
100% is a hookup culture.
Is
for
it really
sure.
that pilots have a thing called a crash pad?
Oh my god!
Where's the DJ horn?
That's so funny, David.
Oh man,
That's a great point,
Yeah.
man. What the fuck?
I should really rethink that.
The landing pad.
The get home safe.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting.
You should just
because-
book an Airbnb.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
there's definitely a lot of it, you know, and it's just it's also a circumstantial thing,
Yeah,
right?
right,
So
of course.
you've got young pilots who, through high school and college, we were the nerdy kids in school. You know, I got a buy because I went to Dreyfus, so like being the nerdy kid was like accepted, and
And you were the DJ. You're probably
Yeah.
the coolest of all.
Yeah.
right?
The
Oh, you fly
ultimate nerd.
airplanes,
Yeah.
and, you know, like that kind of stuff or whatever. But for the most part, a lot of pilots weren't social in high school, college years. They didn't go to frat parties or sorority parties. They probably didn't date the prettiest girls or whatever. Same thing with some female flight attendants who are young and want to adventure the world. So you get a bunch of young guys and girls become pilots who are now coming
Free
into
souls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they come into money.
Yeah.
They come into flexibility and where they can go and stuff like that. And then you get a bunch of young flight attendants, guys and girls, who are also like adventurous and stuff like that. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of like fun and there's also equal amount of, you know, very happily married pilots and
Sure.
stuff like that. What there isn't in the aviation industry is like there's always like this stigma of like the captain who's cheating on his wife or whatever.
Yeah.
That really doesn't exist.
Nah.
No.
The Denzel Washington drugs and
Yeah.
alcohol.
Yeah,
right
that
before the
definitely
flight.
does
Yeah.
not exist.
Doesn't exist?
No.
Thank God.
Yeah, that definitely our aviation industry is so safe now, and it's really great. We have a lot of programs for people that might need help with different situations and whatnot. But for the most part, you know, we're all safe and smart about that. But yeah, like the whole like, you know, pilot sleeping with like have 3 different wives and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
Not really a thing. No, you
Yeah.
either have like young pilots who date flight attendants, or you know they have fun or whatever, or you have like older, usually like at older airlines. Like I hate this because it's like these captains that are like 20 years in captain, and they have like a beautiful home and a big yacht and like 10 kids and like a beautiful wife that they've been married to for like 40 years. And I'm like, I'm jealous. I want that.
Yeah. That's cool.
Right?
Is he proposing right now?
Right? Yeah, but there definitely is, but the issue with crew members hooking up with other crew members.
Yeah.
And I will set a disclaimer that everything I speak about, the stories that I tell about, and my opinions and perspective is reflection of my own experience and doesn't represent the company that I work for at all by any means.
Sure.
The issue is that then you have drama, and that does exist. That does exist,
Well, it's
in most workplaces.
It's hospitality mostly. I feel construction. I don't see that, but that's It's gotta be
I like the way Jim picks up that 2-box.
I saw you riding that jackhammer.
No, it's okay.
I like that hard hat, boy.
I got a hard hat to show you.
I like your pole duster, son. So my question is,
what else can you do? All right, sorry.
I'm thinking of so many right now. Only carpenters. Remember that? Only fans for
Sign up on Patreon for the rest of these jokes.
Version of this on the Patreon.
Whenever I'm on a plane and there's like this action going on, a little bit of like, put your seatbelts on, and you're like, okay, what the fuck is going on?
Turbulence? Is
Yeah.
He's like doing the Harlem Shake. He's like, whoa.
And
Seatbelts.
And you start looking
You
around.
lied when you said you couldn't dance.
I told you.
I know.
Suavemente playing.
He's got the giggle. What was it? He's got the jiggle.
The giggity.
The giggity.
Yeah, Family Guy.
Yeah. But there's a little bit of turbulence action going on. You're like making eye contact with people. Like, is this normal? Like, where's the rate where I'm like, oh fuck, As a pilot, what do you feel about like turbulence in that?
Our airplanes are designed to take like twice as much as the worst turbulence you'll ever experience in your life.
Yeah.
If you see your flight attendant like hit her head on something, that's when you know it's like a oh shit moment.
Oh yeah, well I'm honestly knocking myself out of that. I'm like, Jesus, take the wheel.
Have you
ever been on a flight with a oxygen mask drop?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
Any scary moments?
I crash landed an airplane in January.
Holy shit, that's a
Sick.
scary
It's
moment.
a crazy story.
Okay.
Tell us the story if you
elaborate,
don't mind.
please.
Yeah. So I was flying. I took a leave of absence from the airline that I worked for, and I'm trying to think how I can tell the story and not break any legal barriers with lawyers and attorneys. All right. So I took a leave of absence from the airline that I was working for, and the airplane that I was flying, I flew for a private construction. He does construction for sewers and stuff like that for the city, and I picked up one of our guests from Orlando, and when we were flying back, the gear, like we have a little indicator that tells us if the gear's down or not. It was telling me that only 2 of my gear was down, right? And I was like, okay, that's a
landing gear.
Landing gear. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
True.
So we make like a low pass over Palm Beach International Airport, and they were like, nope, all 3 gears down. And I was like, all right, well, we're going to declare an emergency, have the fire trucks ready, just in case the gear's not locked down. If we come in for like a landing, then, we'll have the fire trucks ready and everything like that. So we come in, we make the landing, everything's fine. Turns out that the sensor for that landing gear was just dirty and clogged up, so it didn't register as down, right? So the maintenance facility that was servicing that aircraft, they were like, hey, they came over, they cleaned it, and then they were like, hey, why don't you bring it over to our hangar, and then we'll like swing the gear, we'll put on jacks, swing the gear a couple times, and then we'll replenish the hydraulic fluid and everything like that. And so I did that, and like I was gone on a ski trip the next day, and something told me, yo, just go to Datura, right? And it's like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, actually, I was thinking of going to Bradley's. I was like, go to Bradley's, have a shot at Jameson, you're done. You can't fly, right?
Yeah.
Easy, right? And the maintenance facility was like, yeah, I won't be ready for another 2 days. So I took a nap. That night, they called me up and they said, hey, the airplane's ready. And I'm like, all right, cool. The owner wants me to take the guests back to Orlando. So I go pick up the airplane. We fly to another airport, pick up the guests, and then we take off. And as I'm trying to raise the gear, it won't come up. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. So then I try to bring it back down, and now it won't come down. All right, and this is at 8:30 at nighttime, and I'll show you guys the video later. I have like a video. There was a sheriff helicopter that actually recorded us landing.
No way.
Yeah,
It's a crazy video.
yeah, it's wild. So I put us into a holding pattern. I had a co-pilot. I put us into a holding pattern. I explained to them what was going on. There was another sheriff helicopter that was like doing like a badass customs border patrol helicopter at nighttime. That infrared camera, and they were following. They were doing orbits. We're going 100 miles an hour, right, in this like holding pattern. And this
What's a holding pattern? Just circles?
just circles.
Okay.
Yeah, and this like military like grade helicopter is like doing circles around us underneath us with their infrared camera looking at our gear to see if it's down.
Holy shit.
And they're like, yeah, it's not down. So I knew I had about 2 hours of fuel. So we do all of our checklists. We have a whole checklist procedure for all these things. That doesn't work. I call the maintenance facility. We had service in the air. This is about over Juno Beach. And I'm calling the maintenance facility, the owner, and we're trying to troubleshoot everything. And nothing's working at all. So then we go down, we do a low pass over Palm Beach International, and they have like some high-tech camera that they take a video, and then they confirmed 30 minutes later. We went back into the holding pattern, and they're like, yeah, the gear's not down. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I was like, this is what's going to happen. This is what we're going to do.
At this point, are you like sweating?
No, not at all.
Good for you,
I've embraced, I don't know, I've embraced that. I've embraced a very like, I've embraced two things. I've embraced definitely like a very stoic mentality about almost everything that I deal with in life. And on top of that, in these situations, like this is what we're trained for, right? Yeah. And I'm a full believer that like what you like plan for or put in your head and like decide is what's going to be, right? So in that situation, I was like, all right, cool. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to perform this emergency landing. Here's how it's going to go down. And I explained to our guests like how, and I made them read the instructions back to me on how to exit the emergency exit and everything. And I told my co-pilot, this is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to hear. This is what you're going to see. There's going to be flames on the side, blah, blah, blah. We're getting out of this airplane tonight. We're walking away from this airplane tonight, and we are going to be okay. And that was it. That was the end of it. There was no, in my mind at the time, there was just no like other way that it was going to go down. Mm-hmm. And I remember at the time I was flying with my coworker, and I said, or not, she was my coworker. She was just like building hours or whatever. And I said to her, I said, man, I can't wait to go to Daytura and have like a shot of Jameson after this. And one of the guests in the back goes,
I heard that.
And I was like, you're more than welcome to join. You're more than welcome. So we burned up as much fuel as possible. Like literally, if we had to do like a go around, we could do like one more if the landing wasn't going to be okay. Mm-hmm. But like I burned up as
so
much.
If it caught on fire.
There was this minimal amount of fuel.
Dog, you're smart as fuck.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
keep going.
So then we came in.
I'm so intrigued.
I brought the airplane down to the slowest controllable airspeed.
Which is?
About 55 knots. Okay. Yeah, 60 miles an hour. And I brought it up. That must have been probably to this day will be my smoothest landing in the entire world. Really? And then as soon as I felt, because it was the right gear that wasn't down, the nose and the left gear were kind of down, but the right one wasn't. And I knew that right one was. Oh no, sorry, it was the left gear that wasn't down. The front and the right one was down, but the left one wasn't. So I landed to the right side of the runway because I knew that left wingtip would come down, and then I knew there was a chance of it, right? So then we came down. Soon as I felt that right gear touch, I cut the power to the engines. I had them open all the doors. That way, if there was any sort of crumpling action going on, we wouldn't be stuck in the airplane. Yeah. The doors would be open. And we came down, there was like sparks all over the place. It was like dramatic and loud for like 30 seconds. Came to a stop, and immediately my passengers were out. My co-pilot and I, we get out, we run away from the airplane. Fire department swarms us. Sheriffs swarm us. It's like crazy. And thankfully there was no fire. Wow. And the lieutenant of the fire department, the commander or whoever he was, he comes up and he's like, is that all the passengers? I was like, yeah. They were like, we just got to he's like, I know you've been through a lot, but we just got to tell you right now that was incredible what you just did. Wow. And he said, we 150% briefed for this to be a fatal crash. They said in their experience of being the fire brigade for Palm Beach International Airport, they've never had a situation like this that ended up with survivors.
Holy shit, dude.
Right?
That's amazing.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, right?
What was the name of the pilot who landed in the Hudson?
Sullenberger.
Yeah. And they did a movie on that. So you
Yeah.
ever seen that with Tom Hanks?
Yeah,
I
that was a
think
good
he played-
movie.
But the fact that the government like came after him, or what didn't they question him?
Yes.
And
NTSB did, yeah.
exactly. But wow, man, that is insane. And the fact that you had your composure the whole time. Honestly, as a guest, I feel like if the man leading has a calm voice about him and is like very sure,
Yeah.
you're fine. I'm chilling. I'm not chilling. I have anxiety, but like I'm like, you know, whatever,
Right.
this dude's trying. But if you went on that, you know, radio and said, yo, I don't know what's going on, you know, our landing gear's not here, pray, you know. and-
Pray, holy shit.
Last thing you hear is
Anybody have ideas?
YOLO over.
Did you go to Dentura that night?
Yeah, actually I did.
yeah.
Yes. And so I posted on my story a picture of the airplane after it crash landed, right? Because also here's my thing. There's a lot, I'm going to go on a 30-second rant, all right?
Do it.
There's a lot of pilots who like post pictures and videos of them in like lavish like fucking hotels and overnights and shit like that. And they never post like the ugly side of flying, like the ugly overnights and you're in the middle of nowhere and all you got to eat is like salad or whatever, you know. So I posted that. I like to like on my story make it real so that other people that are wanting to become pilots understand like it's not always daisies and fucking hot
Correct.
flight
Right,
attendants and shit, right? So I posted my story, whatever. I got like 100 responses. I'm so thankful for all these people that were just like, thank God you're alive and thank God you're okay. And I didn't even say a word. My girlfriend and I walked into Datura. It was 1 o'clock. They closed at 2. Our flight to our ski trip was at 4:30 in the morning out of Fort Lauderdale. And I was like, we're still going to Datura. I'm still getting that motherfucking shot.
Were you scared to fly again?
I was not. No, I wasn't. No.
That's a good question. That's a good
Dude,
question.
what
Yeah.
the fuck? I wouldn't have hopped around
I walked
a plane.
in. I walked into Datura at 1 a.m.
Gets on the plane,
and
he's like, how's the landing gear?
I've done this once.
You wanna let me take
We'll
over
do
the
this
bus?
again. Yeah. But Chris literally came from around the bar. Both him and Tyler. They didn't say a word. They just gave me a big hug, and then Chris poured me 2 shots of Jameson and Heineken, and he was like, "Bro, don't say anything." And just like he was like, and then just walks away. And I'm like,
That's love.
I feel
that's
like-
real love right there.
I
Yeah.
feel like after that, like you just feel like life is such a gift. I don't know. You feel like, not to get corny and cheesy real quick, but you feel like, oh my gosh, all these little things that we bitch about and we worry about and stuff like that, you know, it can be gone in a blink. You know.
I felt it was difficult for me not to get too deep on the subject, but I actually had a difficult time after that. I felt ashamed. I felt upset. I had
Why? Because you put yourself in that position? Is that why?
because I put guests in that position. So the captain's the last line of defense.
Correct.
You're the one that checks and makes sure. And of course, in that scenario, we figured out after with the investigation that there was nothing I could have done, but still, as the person who is in charge of these lives, it upset me that like, you know, like that happened, you know? And like, my boss calls me the next day at like 9 a.m. We were connecting through Detroit. So he calls me and he's like, how are you feeling? And like in the middle of the airport, I actually broke down and cried.
Yeah.
Like I broke down and cried and I said, I am upset. And like, I'm getting a little bit like teary now or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm upset because, you know, at the end of the day, it's my responsibility. And I let these people who he cared about very much on board an airplane that was very much not fit to fly. That's extremely upsetting. Even though it's not our fault, we still feel like we're in control of that situation. And he actually started crying and he was like, I know how you feel. Like this is my family,
Yeah.
you know? And we kind of had a bonding moment and whatnot. So, you know, that was the most difficult thing to get through.
I feel like obviously it shows how much you care that you bear that weight, and it shows your character and your responsibility that you put towards your profession. But when you do all the checks and balances and you realize that sometimes the fate of the world kind of just slaps you in the face and you can't really always, you know, double check everything. I don't know if you guys remember the helicopter flight. I think it was last Christmas or 2 Christmas ago from Bahamas to Palm Beach that went down.
I know what you're talking about.
It was the big
Yep.
oil exec too. Him and his daughter and her best friend, I think, passed on a 1-hour helicopter flight from Bahamas to Palm Beach. You know, and it's like, and the Kobe Bryant thing, and it just like this whole thing. So that's why flying gives me a little anxiety, because I know in the end of the day, it's really just a floating school bus. But sometimes that school bus hits a flock of pelicans and you're fucked, you know?
Yeah,
You know, I'd rather be my 2 feet on the ground, you know?
Yeah.
It's the thing, like, I love boating too, and they're like, oh, well, what if you capsize in the sea? bitch, I'll swim. You know,
Yeah.
like I'm gonna go that way. You know, if you're soaring down from the sky, yeah,
That's it. There's nothing. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just
So when Mike first started flying, I asked him, like, since he likes flying, would you ever go skydiving? He's like, no way.
Really?
Yeah.
I will not do. I think
hell
my
no.
opinions on this have changed, but I'm still kind of
I'm
very.
like, if your plane's about to crash, why don't you just, like,
see, but that's like
Call of Duty Warzone out?
Where we dropping, boys?
We'll drop it.
Superstore, let's go.
I wonder if the first skydiver did it on accident. Like, just like fell out of the plane. It was like, oh fuck, I got a parachute.
Yeah. Oh,
Pull
this is
that bitch.
fun.
It's actually sick.
I'm gonna do this.
If someone was still flying the plane, we could do this
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
It had to be a couple like cokehead surfer dudes who'd be like, yo, bro, we're gonna open the door and jump. You know?
Or it was probably like a crash landing situation.
Yeah,
They had
yeah.
parachutes and.
Or like the army started it probably or something like that. Now we talk about the Kavorka a little bit and Big Dick Energy. You have two jobs that like engulf the both.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Now you're madly in love, but did you feel like it was hard to get into a relationship with all that mojo?
That's a tough question. I'm gonna say
It wasn't hard.
it was not hard to find girls. As a
Okay.
DJ coming up, it was not hard to find girls. Right?
Right.
There's this thing I forget. I was listening to it in a podcast, and I'm sure you guys know exactly what the word is. But basically, like a lot of young, new YouTubers and podcasters and artists and designers and entrepreneurs, like in their 18 to 25 range, become so successful because they don't know the risk. They don't know anything other than what it is that they're doing, and it's fun. Everything's new and fun, right? So, like, as a DJ, the first 6 years of DJing, everything was a new experience, new clubs and whatnot. And I think that this vibe that we put off, right, comes from that. This energy that we put off comes from that. And that sells us to other clubs and nightclubs and all these girls that come up to us. Like I always told David and all these girls that I dated, I'm like, we're a show. We're really a show, right? People come to the Mike Wise show. They come to David Paul's show. They know that when they come to a club or a bar, whether you're on the clock or not, there's a certain energy about you that they gravitate towards, that at the end of the day, after they're done with their 9 to 5, they came to see that and they love that energy. They feed off of that energy. Like when you're bartending, you know that, right?
Yeah.
You
I
know?
want to understand that.
Yeah, and I think that
And I think that's something that's not communicated through words. I think it's literally energy and like
That's it.
body language. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
you know,
And especially you can see it firsthand when people are dancing and vibing to your music. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, a lot of times it's like if no one's dancing and one person starts moving, like that'll get other people to go. Like it's infectious.
Correct.
yeah,
Like you love that one way drunk guy in the corner just starting to go hard,
I
and
like-
then
like-
yeah.
like, At the beginning of the night, like I love like that crazy drunk person because their energy. But at the end, I'm like, you gotta go home.
Yeah,
Like, you're too
So-
much.
Yeah.
I think the first half of the DJ career, maybe a little bit now, there's definitely a lot of that energy. I think we've learned to harness it and understand the business aspect of all
Yeah.
this. But at first, it was just naive, like
Yeah, we were excited for like
we're hot shit.
the smallest of gigs.
And,
Yeah.
and are there DJs in town, like currently even, that you know they're DJing to get pussy and that's it?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know that I know any that are
Like the money's
particularly-
cool, whatever, but like that's not the reason. That
No,
I'm
I
doing
don't
it.
feel
think
like
so.
If you get into DJing for the wrong reasons, that your career won't last long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're pretty
Because,
siphoned
like,
off
if,
pretty
like,
easily.
If,
Yeah.
like, say you gotta like mix different songs, if
Yeah.
like you're too busy talking to
Correct.
X girl and then
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you train wreck, they're not gonna want to hire you.
True. Now, were you someone the whole time, Mike, that was looking for a relationship, or
Nah,
okay?
I
okay.
was a fuckboy 1000, bro. I was fuckboy 3000.
That's your next
100%.
Halloween costume.
For sure. No,
Fuckboy 3000.
I was
That's our
not.
next shirt. Fuckboy 3000.
That's good, dude.
And then you just, as corny as it sounds, met the one, and she changed everything.
I met a couple ones. I met
He's in the doghouse.
yeah. So when we DJ'd at Jumbie Bay, again, a whole like how this all just played out. There was Frenchman's Creek and Admiral's Cove, and they have a foreign exchange program.
All right, oui, oui.
Hey, like, oui,
Yeah.
oui, indeed, my dude.
Yeah.
And they would bring in about 70 or 80 Austrian and German college.
Stop the madness.
Yeah, bro.
It was-
And they would come after they're done working, and it was part of they were like sophomores and juniors in college, so they were legal, old enough to drink, right?
Yeah.
Which is perfect. Or They were getting there. I think they were like 1920.
Yeah.
They were somewhere close. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
So they'd come to Jumbie Bay, and it was about 60 beautiful, blonde-haired, blue-eyed German Austrian girls, right? And like 10 cool as fuck, crazy Austrian guys, right? And they would, and then when they found out that we DJ'd, and this was 2013, the first time we met these people, and we capitalized on that.
Yeah.
Big time, bro. Every time, every club we played at, we just had like a whole swarm of these Austrian, German
That's
people
great.
that would come with us and whatnot. And there was like an Austrian girl that like I didn't think I'd ever date, or she didn't catch my attention, but then she did.
Yeah.
And we fell in love, and that was, that whole story or whatever.
Was there a big language issue?
Not really. They're really good with their English. They have amazing accents, or if you're not into that, then
Is that a thing? Do you like accents on
I
women?
do like accents.
Yeah.
What's an Austrian accent like?
Like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh shit, that's funny as fuck.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't like it, but whatever.
Confidence aren't my type.
Do you guys have the same type?
Nope.
And
That's why
when-
it works out so beautifully.
Yeah.
And what's
I
your-
like the complete opposite. I like girls of Latin descent.
Really?
Okay, yeah.
Dark hair, tan skin, love it.
Yeah.
I like
So if you out there, let me
1-800 Dave Paul. I like
ping pong.
Chicago girls named Alana,
Hey.
who coincidentally live with me.
Shout out.
Now, how did you all meet?
My girlfriend and I now.
Yeah.
I was DJing Sunday Brunch Lenore's,
Sick.
and she had a table right to the next. And just like David, we have a couple things. For us both, this one we share, you play a couple tracks and see like if they like it, and you're just kind of like, Like
Yeah.
I knew these girls, and every other girl comes up to us and they're like, oh my God, Mike, David, how are you? We love
Yeah.
you, da-da-da. So like, whenever there's a girl that doesn't do that, I'm like, who the fuck do you think?
Yeah.
Coming to my
Into
Yeah.
my fucking town, my Sunday brunch with your fucking Sunday dress.
Yeah.
But no, she came. She.
He's like staring at her the whole time he's playing.
I think that's legit how it went down.
Cues
So-
up the next song,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
making
yeah.
eye contact.
and she would not. And the worst part about it is that like I knew she liked Ja Rule, I knew she liked Ashanti, so I'd play it, and she would bop around and like be into it, but she wouldn't look at me. And I was like, come on.
Doing this for you.
Set shots to the table. Like, these are
Did
from the
you?
DJ.
Wow,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh man.
I was like, yo, Brady, see if we can get him like a bottle of Vouv or something. Like,
Yeah.
let's do something. And then we ran into each other at a coffee shop like 3 weeks later. So I was like, hey.
Stalking her.
Yeah. Followed her for like 2-3 weeks.
I figured out her pattern.
Yeah.
I said, hey, I'm trying to make new friends that are like professionals and like want to wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning,
Wait,
bro.
what?
Literally said this.
I didn't know this. What?
How do you
I
not
wanna
come
make
off stalker? How do you
I
not come
want-
off stalkerish? Honestly,
I
I
wanted
you were
said-
a creepy
yeah.
DJ staring
Yeah.
at his Brian humping, standing over shots.
He brought his turntables to the coffee shop. Hey,
That's how it went down. That's how it went
He's
down.
ordering coffee with a coffee in his hand.
What kind of coffee does she normally order? Wow, like the same coffee? That's crazy.
So one more time, what was your pitch? I'm a young professional.
No. So like basically, I was like
Have
waking
you ever
up.
heard the word of
right-
Christ?
Have you heard- Can I introduce you to the Lord?
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to make a kickball league. Like, let's go for happy hour and find other people that are like this.
Dead ass.
Yo, dead ass is what I said. Dead
And
ass.
it worked?
No.
She didn't want to join the kickball league.
Do
Do you want?
Actually, the cops came.
And that's how I met my.
And my lawyer was Lana.
So yeah, so I messaged. So I got her Instagram. I DM'd her. I messaged her like 3 times to hang out. She said no each time. I'm busy.
Damn.
I'm busy.
Wow.
Finally, on the 4th try, she was like, "Actually, I want to watch the Bears game tonight. Let's go to Greece." And I said, "Let's go."
Love the Bears.
Yeah, I love the
Big
Bears.
Bears guy.
Instantly became football fan.
Favorite animal. You going to the zoo or?
Who do the Bears play for?
Right?
It's Bears football.
They're playing the Cardinals, I think. So I like birds also.
Football jokes. Save.
Wait, I thought it was baseball. I'm so lost.
Yeah, dude. So we went out. We had a great time. She ate all my fucking cheese fries. like
sign.
all of it. That's what I knew.
Yeah.
Like to the point where I told the bitch to stop eating my cheese
Yeah, what
fries.
the fuck?
Yeah.
You're like, you're lactose intolerant. Stop.
And we've had our ups and downs, but
So we split this. At one point he said, I'll cut the check in two.
yeah.
But you got any crazy questions for us today?
Oh yeah, I wrote some shit down. Okay. How much money would you need to be given? Flat check or cash? Well, it's cash in a duffel bag.
Okay.
But you have to be featured as a predator on To Catch a Predator. And you didn't actually commit the crime, you know. It comes out that To Catch a Predator is a fake show. It's staged the whole time. And they want Mike Wise to come on because they really want to do this segment on Mike Wise being a predator. They think you're perfect for it.
He does DJ all the young girls parties.
How big does that check have to be featured on To Catch a Predator?
Wow.
10K?
What?
I'm fucking with you.
I was in the millions.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
That was a joke. That was a joke.
I'm like,
That
what
was a
does
joke.
Nicolas Cage get paid
Yeah,
for like, his low end movies?
Yeah.
Like
The most relevant actor right now. Nicolas Cage.
he's always in like
was
C-list
Not even like
movies.
Tom Holland or something.
I feel like
Yeah, National Treasure is
Yeah,
the newest
yeah,
movie
yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
he's always in like low budget films. So like,
Exactly.
you know.
I think 10 million's my bottom.
Yeah. I'll do 10 million.
I'd say like between 2 and 5.
Okay, so the
You have
question
to start a new
originally-
life.
The question originally was written as, would 4 million be enough? But
Oh,
I just
wow.
changed it
I
to
like
what's
that.
the number?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
That's a tough
yeah.
number.
$4
yeah.
million bucks?
Yeah.
You'll do it?
Yeah, to move to like Europe or Austria.
Yeah,
I
you
guess.
just start over, I guess.
Start over.
And then tell people, no, really, guys, please, really believe me, it was fake, I swear. But they're not going to
It's
believe
only
it.
7 years for like, the statute of limitation, and then you can
Technically.
like, come back
Correct.
And
So here's a good question, or maybe not. How much to literally just take a picture of you fully nude and put it on Facebook? Just like arms out. Full
I mean, you
naked.
don't get in trouble for it, obviously.
Yeah, it's
just-
up for 24 hours.
hard or soft.
It's a good question.
You just jumped in an ice cold shower and you just jumped
That's
out.
gonna be a lot of money.
If you were sent back to like the Roman Empire, Julius Caesar times, with a fully charged iPhone, do you think you could take over the world?
Yes.
No,
No.
because who would you take?
Who are you
like-
gonna call?
Yeah, Caesar. Caesar ain't picking up.
And
Let's pretend like Google and shit is still a thing, though. Like, all the features of your iPhone work.
would work.
I feel like you could make a business out of it somehow. Like,
Something,
oh, you need a
right?
calculator?
Meet
Let me
your bachelor on
calculate
Tinder.
your salt.
Oh. Well, I would
Calculate
just
yourself.
be like playing God, you know, like literally I'm Jesus. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so there you
No,
go.
yeah,
That's
true.
your angle.
Yeah, you could be like, I know exactly what's gonna happen.
yeah.
And then like, I'd also take photos of everything. That way I
Yeah.
could be like, yo,
Dang.
aliens did help build these
Yeah,
pyramids
yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
Gotcha.
So yes or no?
I don't
What
think
is-
so. I don't think you could do it.
I don't know. But you got
Because,
no
like-
Wi-Fi nowhere.
Because like they burned witches and like they'd be like,
Right, maybe they just kill you because
Yeah.
they think you're a freak.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't fuck
Interesting.
with Romans.
Would you rather wake up to a blowjob every day or $50 under your pillow every day and you never get a blowjob again?
Oh, blowjob every day.
I would,
I'll
that
take
would,
That's
the,
a
I'll
easy.
take the $50.
really?
Yeah, blowjobs are cool, but
How much
expensive.
money
I
does
think
it
I'm
come
taking
up
the
to?
$50.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you
And
blowjob
a
guy? I
blow-
feel like,
No
yeah,
blowjobs.
totally, I
No
love it.
blowjobs for us. Your life.
Yeah, I know. That sounds shitty, but
But here's the thing. I feel like blowjobs are like a good appetizer. Like you don't need it.
I don't need
Okay,
it.
all right,
You know
but then
what I'm
wait.
saying?
Say you
Exactly, but know what you do need? 50
50
bucks.
bucks.
Oh, all right.
That's Starbucks.
Okay, all right.
And a meal. That's
A
fine.
rebuttal. What if you get rich and like win the lottery and you don't need
Right.
that $50 anymore, but you need a fucking blowjob?
Yeah,
Right.
but you can still have sex.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I can.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'll
Just
take
like-
the $50
Like,
bucks.
what if like some days like you're just not into it? You're like, I really want to sleep in, and she's like, no,
we have to.
no.
The world
Literally
depends
late
on
for
it.
work and she's
And,
just
and then you're just sitting there like, I
Yeah.
should have took the
Yeah.
I'll give you $50 to stop right now.
49. You gotta be capital. So,
If you guys were taken hostage for 5 years
uh-huh.
and you came back to the world right now, you were released, what would surprise you the most that took place over the last 5 years?
Is it 5 years to now, or we're kidnapped now in 5 years?
No, 5 years ago you were kidnapped.
Okay.
Today you got
Today you're
released.
back. Wow.
That the world was shut down for like 2 years.
Yeah, COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd be like, no
COVID.
way.
COVID
guess-
for sure.
Yeah.
What do you describe that? Like almost comparable to like the plague, or like how would someone describe it to you? I guess I just guess that the world was shut down. For 2
like
years.
what was that one we were in 2012? The not the bird
Ebola?
flu. It
Swine
was
flu?
no, it was some numbers behind that shit.
Oh,
COVID-18.
Yeah, maybe.
No, the computer one, right?
Yeah.
Y2K?
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
What was that?
I remember like there was one when we were in high school. It was like kind of talked about, but then it was like just
I
nothing.
remember Y2K that they were like the
Yeah.
world's gonna end.
Yeah,
Like,
SARS was a thing
your
for a while.
phone won't work.
I feel like it's such a narrative to be like, people love to talk about like the world ending. You know, like oh, it's coming soon. Remember, was it 2020 when the world was supposed to?
The
end?
Mayan
2021. It
Mayan
was on his
calendar.
birthday.
That were supposed to end on like 12, 21, 20 or something like that. I don't know. It was something stupid.
But then 2012 it was supposed to end too, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it was the end of the Mayan calendar.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
I
right.
remember that.
And maybe the Mayans just got tired and was like, fuck it, I don't feel like going
Yeah,
back
wait.
to 2012.
They ran out of chisels.
Yeah. Dude, it's just crazy. Like, I don't hope the world doesn't end.
Yeah, I think it's just like a hot topic that, like,
Yeah.
starts a conversation and you like get going. That's why people.
It is crazy though because
People
I
like
feel,
conspiracies.
I feel like if World War III comes around, everyone's done, bro. We're all dust.
Do you think could be a thing though? Do you think World War III will ever be a thing?
I think it's gonna be more like cyber hacking and shutting down governments,
Yeah.
or making a plague and sending it over
Right.
seas.
Yeah.
But so is your answer no?
I feel like I'm not saying COVID was made in a lab. I'm not saying that at all. But I feel like that's where the world is these days. Is like if you really want to fuck with people, you
it would
send
be
a disease.
sabotage. It
Yeah.
wouldn't be like send a nuke or something like that.
Yeah.
you know?
Super low key, but
Yeah.
where did it come from?
Yeah. And let's not forget, this isn't like the first time. Like, colonists knew that when they went into Indian tribes and like they coughed on them, they would all die.
They would die.
because they weren't susceptible to this shit. You
Yeah.
know? So it's kind of like,
You think they knew that back then though?
I think they figured it out real fucking fast.
I feel like
Yeah.
Once you lose one village, you'd be like, wow, you
Yeah.
died from stuff he knows. And
Yeah.
you're like, wait a second.
Boom. Anything else?
Would you rather poop every time you come or get a boner every time you talk to a guy?
Wow,
Or
these
do
are
the second.
difficult questions.
Are we behind a desk?
All scenarios.
I'm gonna say get a boner every time I talk to
Yeah,
a guy.
Yeah.
You can hide it in your pants, and then you could be like, "Yo, I have a condition." like,
Sorry, bro.
yeah.
Just walk around stiffy the whole time you're at a
I'm
bar.
addicted to
bro.
Blue Chew.
like every time you masturbate, you have to like do it in the shower.
Yeah, right.
Or like you have to do it on the toilet. Like,
Or you go to some girl's house and like sleep in her bed, and now you got shit all over her
You
bed.
also signed up for the morning blowjobs.
Yeah, so now
What a way to start the
yeah,
day.
and you gotta spend 50
you had
bucks to
Mexican
clean
the
up.
night before. That's horrible.
How do you come up with these?
Yeah, right.
I can't take credit. I found them somewhere.
Okay.
We have a shared notes that we put the craziest fucking ideas on.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're so sketch.
How long would it take you to drink all the water in a pool?
Ooh.
Month and a half.
Is it
Nah.
with, no,
Is it less? Is it less than that? Really?
I think it's way more. I think
Oh,
it's
okay.
is it with chlorine or without?
years. Without. It's safe.
Okay,
It's
I'm
safe.
like,
Safe
I'll
water.
die.
Yeah, fresh
Pool.
water. It's liquid, filled with
Yeah.
liquid death.
A year. I'd say a year.
Yeah.
How many
What?
gallons are in like a pool?
I guess that's the
Yeah.
question that
Like
needs to be answered.
125,000 gallons is the average pool.
And,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
most people
Okay.
drink like a gallon a day.
Do,
If you're on
Yeah.
point, you're drinking a gallon a day.
oh, so it'd be a couple years. It'd be for
No,
your
like your lifetime.
A lot, dude. It'd be really long. You said a month and
Well,
a
my,
half.
my question a few months ago to you was, do you think you've peed a pool full in your lifetime?
Ooh.
Well, it
Wow.
has to be
You asked me this?
It
Yeah.
has to be equal to what you put in, and it can't be more, right?
Maybe.
Okay.
I just
So-
soup always throw me off. Do we shit out soup or do we piss it out?
Oh, I'm not educated enough.
Damn.
Guys, I'm a dropout.
I think your body divides it.
What do you mean divides it, Pete? Like
because there's nutrients.
I mean, are you
in
just
it.
drinking soup broth, or are there solids in that soup?
chicken noodle soup.
Yeah, so your
So
body
on the side.
takes I think the liquid part.
Yeah.
And I think some.
What's your favorite
But-
soup?
Yeah, but what about a milkshake?
But also it's salty.
Ooh,
so
Mike Wise, that's a great
Yeah.
question.
I'm
I
telling
have no
you.
fucking idea.
I don't think
Glad you asked.
I don't think I peed enough to fill up a pool.
No, that's a hard one.
It's hard. That's
Maybe
good.
a jacuzzi. But
Yeah, maybe a jacuzzi.
Is it warm
Yeah,
enough, you
yeah.
think, to just be a jacuzzi as it is?
I gotta say this because it's on my mind. It sounds so bad.
We've
I was
said
at-
everything else.
I was at a bachelor party one time, and the argument was, do you think you've came a tub full in your life?
Like a bathtub?
A bathtub full.
I don't think so, dude. That would be so much.
I don't think so. I can small.
Mike's doing the math in his head. He's like,
That first 6 years, bro.
2014 was crazy.
That was wild. Yeah. Oh,
those Slovakian girls.
yeah, dude. Yeah. There's 70 of them.
Oh my god. Sweet
Yo,
heavens.
you see Mike Wise in your yard.
Yeah.
He's upstairs going.
It's a hard hat holiday.
Big balls.
Respectfully.
Yeah. That shit was so fucking funny, man. I don't laugh at a lot of shit. When I saw that originally, I was crying, I think.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Dude, and they're in New York. You ever see them?
Yes. No, I've never seen them out in public, but like
They went major viral, though. Like, the remixes and shit that came off of that.
the first time that I saw that, somebody sent it to me. I was drunk and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
And then
What are you guys talking about right now?
Bing bong, fuck your mom.
fuck your life.
Fuck your life.
Side talk. You never seen that?
I don't know if I know what you're talking about. I mean,
We're
I've
outside.
seen Bing Bong like for the last 3 weeks, but I don't know what it's from.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's funny.
Put me
It's a
on.
funny video. It's a really funny video.
Last question I got for you guys is together or separate. Can you guys think of the craziest party you ever threw in your life?
Through or DJ?
DJ.
Well, whichever one's crazy.
Yeah.
Whichever,
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, what
really
does crazy
throw
mean?
parties.
What does crazy mean?
You'd look back when you were 80 years old on your young years and say that was one of the
Can't believe
best.
that shit
Yeah, that was
happened.
one of the best nights of my life.
I could crazy and like best nights. I feel like would be two different games.
Right, I would kind
Or,
of rather
like-
hear
like one gig,
bad
like-
crazy.
Like
Yeah, yeah.
I opened up for Pitbull and I was like on stage and like front of people and I was like I never thought
Yeah.
I would be here DJing with Pitbull.
Where was this?
That's incredible.
So I DJ for Bang Energy,
Okay.
and
Right.
every year they do a holiday party, and they hired him to work, and then I was like the opening DJ for him.
Really?
Did you just go to Dubai?
Yeah, I DJed in
Sick.
Dubai
Wow.
for a week. That was pretty dope.
Fucking
I turned
No
30
way.
when I was there too, so I was
Awesome.
just like, what is life right now?
Yeah,
That
it's
is
fire,
amazing, man. Do you ever sit back and smell the roses and really say, holy fuck, you know?
Yeah. I wish I did more when I was younger.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's moments where I now I take back and I'm like,
Holy shit.
yeah.
Do you see yourself settling down anytime soon? What's the long-term goals?
With DJing or relationships?
Life.
I still like DJing. Like I'm good at it,
Yeah.
and I feel like there's no one really that can like take this like your spot right now where you can like do other things.
Yeah.
So like I definitely want to stay in that vein and like open up like a nightclub or something.
And you're doing that, what, 4 nights a week now?
Yeah. for the most
Okay.
part, yeah.
And
travel.
so what's your schedule like? You wake up at like noon, you chill.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, noon or 1. Like normally Monday's like everyone's like Saturday.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my first day off.
Right.
Monday through Wednesday, I literally just like relax in my house. I don't go out.
Yeah.
I'm not a very social person. Relax, play video games, ride my Peloton.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Now,
What video games do you play?
Basically all first-person shooters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Little MMOs.
PC or console?
I used to be a console for like my whole life, and then I started playing PC.
I just switched to a PC like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
You playing on mouse and keyboard or controller?
It depends what game. I can do both though.
I'm real bad with the mouse and
Oh
keyboard.
yeah, no, I'm terrible.
Yeah.
But we're getting there.
Yeah, we'll practice.
so say you DJ 4 nights a week. Are you drinking like what's your average, do you think? Do you drink almost every night you DJ?
It depends. When I first started DJing, completely against alcohol.
Okay.
Didn't want to do it. I was like, I like to be in control, focus. I'm here to work, not party. But as time went on, like people would like bring you shots.
Mm-hmm.
Be like
And I'm sure you get more comfortable in what you're doing also.
That was my
Yeah,
next
and
question.
I
Do
feel
you feel like sometimes?
I feel like I am more creative. Maybe like 2 drinks in.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, I'll take a risk, play this, or
Sure.
like it'd be cool if like this song was to go with this song or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
yeah.
But then there's been some times where maybe like
Works against you too?
like it was like I think my birthday at brunch like 2 years ago. And I played like the same song within like 10 minutes. 3 times.
Oh my
I've
God.
I've done that too.
What song was it?
And, it was At the End of the Night was Yo, Excuse Me, Miss by Chris Brown.
Yeah.
And my friend who was there, he was like, yeah, you played the same song. I was like, no way, I don't do that. I'm professional.
Yeah.
And like in the program we use, you can see the history of like every song you played.
Yeah.
And it was there 3 times.
No way.
And I was like, I'm so embarrassed. Like
That's
I
like a
don't wanna show my
standout
face.
song too. Like
Yeah.
people notice when you play that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So
And how about you, DJ Megwise? What's the craziest thing you've ever thrown? You think or been a part of?
The craziest thing that we've ever thrown was a house party with the Austrians.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, and that was like got the cops calling us. There was like the fact that the apartment didn't cave in was like insane.
Damn, really?
Wow.
It was a lot of people. It was like a bunch of people in this room in this second floor apartment. Definitely not safe.
And you
at
were
all.
DJing it?
Residents
Yeah,
on the first
yeah.
floor below?
It was all the entire building was all Austrian, so it was like
Oh
they
my
all,
gosh.
you know, whatever.
Crash pad?
Yeah. So the cops came, so we turned the music off. When the cops leave, we turn it back on.
Really?
Jupiter Police hated me.
Yeah.
Fucking hated me.
Jupiter Police
you ever
sucked,
wanted
man. They were
to-
strict.
They were very strict. Thank you for your service. All right.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
I'm sorry you made me hate you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you showed up to work.
Yeah.
All right. Just gonna say that.
Yeah.
But and I think the 2 best experiences I DJed. So I DJed Serena Williams' wedding when she
Okay.
got married. That was a blast.
Jesus. Well, that's
in
fucking
New Orleans.
cool.
It was the most wild experience.
Yeah.
And how'd you get lined up with that?
So when we DJ'd at Jumbie Bay, again, like all like how it just flowed in, right? I came in one day, I said, I need a place to live because the place that I was going to go into, that I was living at the time, I was living with my uncle back in like 2012, and he was moving somewhere else. So the bartender knew somebody in Abacoa, and so that person rented me his bedroom. He was the manager for one of the clothing lines for Venus Williams. He said, you can live here, $500, all expenses paid. The only thing is, I need somebody here to accept a bunch of packages during the day. And I was like, all right, I'm a DJ. Like, I don't work during the day. It's perfect. And Venus would get like 12, 13, 14 packages delivered there. Insane, right? So then one day... Yeah, right? One day he invites me over. He says, hey, the girls want to come meet you. I didn't know it was them. He says, the owners of the house want you to come meet. They want you to DJ their power hour. And I was like, all right, whatever. I'm in like basketball shorts and a hoodie and like a fucking, and he was like, you're fine like that. And I'm like, okay. So I go over to their house in Ballin Isles and they're like getting their hair done and they're living a beautiful, big fucking mansion and everything. And they're like, hey, Mike. And I'm like, holy fucking shit, this is real. So they invited me to DJ their party. Of course, David and I always did every other party together because at that point, David and I were like the dynamic duo. We DJ'd everything together. And so we DJ'd their magic hour, their power hour party. And then from there, it turned into their yearly, they did a party called the Williams Invitational, where every year they'd fly all their friends in for 1 week, and it was all sports and medals and crazy games.
That's insane.
Drinking games and stuff, and then a
They
big
go hard?
Saturday. Hard, bro.
Really?
Oh my
You
God.
can't talk about it, but yeah.
Yeah.
One of the best lessons.
That's all I need to know.
Yeah. One of the best lessons that Serena taught me was her ability to party hard, to work hard, but also play hard.
Yeah.
Because as a group, her and I became really close, and it was always like a group thing. She had a bunch of friends that were like not famous or anything like that. It was all just really cool people that we all just somehow became friends, and it was always like, if we go out and party, that's great. But next morning at 9 a.m., we're all waking up, and whatever, if she had practice or whatever it was we were doing that we needed to do, we're getting up and doing it. Like she was a true class athlete. So then it just kind of revolved into like just spiraling down. And so her and her sister used to go to Cabo Flats all the time, and they saw us DJ at Cabo Flats, and they kind of like made note of that, right? So just 3 years of that, then they invited me to DJ the wedding, which was a blast. And I also DJ'd in St. Bart's. And fun fact about French and Spanish people, they like eat dinner way later than like, and they party way later. So like when I showed up at the club that I was DJing at in St. Bart's, thinking I'm going on at midnight, they were like, oh no, you're going on at 3 a.m. And I'm like, I don't want to embarrass my agent or the club owner, but I'm not a closing fucking DJ. And I didn't say that at the time. I was like, well, it's my first time here. Everything's paid for. Whatever, I'll just go get drunk. So I went to Bagatelle with a bunch of French girls that were on the island or whatever. And then when I came back at like 2:30 to the nightclub, it was fucking slammed.
Really?
Slam packed. And the opening DJ, who was like, his name is Julian. He's such a nice guy. He was like, yeah, man, like everybody just showed up like 15 minutes ago. Get ready.
Damn.
Like, get hyped. And I was like, oh my God. So I DJed from 3 until 7 a.m.
Fuck.
My flight home, I was going from St. Bart's, San Juan to JFK because I had to DJ in JFK. It was at 10 a.m. So everybody, the place was packed until 7 a.m. And then like all these like guys and girls were like, come on, we're gonna take you to get some croissants and all these, So you're like walking through this beautiful Palm Beach looking island in St. Bart's, and it's like beautiful breeze by the sea. Everybody's drunk as fuck. 7 o'clock in the morning, we just walked out, and like all you smell is like the bread, the French fresh baked bread from these bakeries. And I was like, wow,
I'm living, motherfucker.
This is it. Yeah. Wow. This is it. Yeah, that was I feel like those two were the best ones.
The aha moments.
Yeah. But like the crazy one, like actually, you know what? I have a crazier one. Oh fuck. Do you guys know who DJ Opie is?
I love the way he said that.
No, I don't think so.
He invited, oh my God. Oh, I can't believe I was like this is 2012. And Opie used to DJ with JR. They did Flip Cup before him and I were doing Flip Cup.
Okay.
He was friends with this guy who's going to go unnamed because I'm pretty sure he was like this major like drug dealer that fled the country,
Sick.
who also owned
same
some
as-
bars.
Yeah.
Yeah, he owned some bars near Okeechobee, so I'm gonna just leave it at that. Y'all can figure it out. But we would DJ from whatever, and he had like this huge mansion, and we were all supposed to go on this. We all went on this yacht one day. It was Sunday. I think it was like Super Bowl Sunday or something like that. I can't remember. But like, all I remember was, you remember? I'm not gonna actually mention her. She worked at Jumbie Bay. She's a manager. Was a manager. Might still be manager. Who knows? I go over there. I'm still new to like this whole partying shit.
Yeah.
And everybody's already ripping shots. Must have been like 11 o'clock in the morning. And Opie and I are DJing on this yacht in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
We get in this Hummer. We get in with the owner. There's a bunch of these hot ass girls in like thongs. So I'm literally looking like I'm 13 around like all these Miami motherfuckers, you know? And this
How old
dude,
are you at this time?
what's that?
How old are you at that time?
I must have been 20 or 19.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's 2000, must have been 2011 then. And we're like doing like 90 miles an hour in this Hummer. Like everybody's passing around. I wasn't smoking any of it, but like everybody's passing around weed, smoking weed. We're doing 90 down the interstate. We get to this guy. He was like some sort of like analyst for some corporation. I don't know. He had this really nice Miami Vice, beautiful mansion with a big ass yacht and beautiful home. And we get to his house, and then we get on the yacht, and like all these girls are like obviously Miami girls, high heels and everything. We get on the yacht, we set sail, and and he has like big flat screen TVs in this mega yacht or whatever. And all of a sudden, it was like the craziest like big black cock porn
Oh my
I've ever seen on all of the screens. It was just straight porn everywhere. There was
The
fucking
same video or just like he
the
had like,
same video.
Okay.
Everywhere.
Okay.
Okay. And everybody's partying and drinking, and there's fucking cocaine everywhere. Okay. Lines of cocaine everywhere. And I'm DJing, and I kind of quickly realized like why I was brought along so that I can continue DJing while Opie was able to have fun and
okay.
be able to have fun and not have to work.
Yeah.
I didn't care. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
fuck yeah, let's go. And so I'm DJing, and they're giving me these shots of tequila. And I remember like going into the bathroom and just blacking out and throwing up all over this guy's like nice ass bathroom.
Yeah.
And then we like went back to his mansion, and I'm pretty sure like threw up all over his mansion.
No.
And they were taking care of me like I was
No
like,
shit.
you know, they were nice. They were like, "Aw, like
Yeah.
the cute little kid or whatever." And like the last thing I remember from that night was we were on the car, and like everybody was high again, somehow driving back to Florida or back to Palm Beach, and we're passing. You know that one of those bridges down there has like purple lights or some shit.
Yeah.
And we were just all like, "Oh my god, look at the purple lights! It's crazy."
That's crazy.
The last fucking thing I remember.
Rainbow.
Yeah, dude, that was just. I just remember being like when I saw like these videos, like this big black guy just like pounding some.
At what point do you kind of watch it? You know,
Right,
You're like,
because
yeah,
this thing,
yeah,
because then you
yeah.
look around and nobody's paying attention.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, do I want to look?
At what point do you grab a plate of appetizers and you're like, I'm gonna
This is
take a
pretty
look,
good
you know?
shit, you know.
Yeah.
You take a note. You're
Like
like,
Lana Rhodes
Yeah.
before she became famous,
He
like.
still has his socks on.
Yeah.
He's wearing a knee pad. Gotta
Yeah.
get one of those.
This guy's definitely filled up a
Yeah.
Yo,
bathtub.
what he's doing? Yeah, dude, that was
You know
definitely.
shit's going down if they start the scene with knee pads on,
Yeah.
you know? Like, what are you doing? Like, and they're like volleyball knee pads that
Yeah,
barely
yeah.
fit them, you know? Like, I knew way too much about that.
Oh, so you've been to one of these parties?
He's like, yeah, I filmed that.
I think I would pass out if I was on that yacht. If I just walked up to a yacht and there was cocaine and porn on the screen,
It was like as soon as we
I'm
set
in
off.
heaven, huh? This is it.
As
That's all I
soon,
can
yeah,
take.
dude, it was wild. It was crazy.
That's fucking
Oh my
funny,
God.
man. That was a good one.
Now, your stories are incredible. I can't wait to go watch your guys' sets now.
Yeah.
Now that I know you personally, you know it's cool. You know, I want to give them a shout out too. I don't know if you guys are close to them. I was at Cucina a month and a half ago. I never go there. I've been there twice or three times now. I love the bar.
Yeah.
But I'm a Jupiter guy. I always went to Jupiter bars and whatnot. And Matcha DJ
Oh, Machina?
Machina.
Yeah.
Anthony, yeah, he's
Shout out Anthony.
He's a really good
awesome
close friend of
music.
ours. He's
Yeah.
great. He's
Um,
wonderfful.
And the vibes were great in there. So shout out to you, man. Really
Anthony
great
Martinez, he's wonderful.
We
Yeah.
play racquetball together all the
Yeah.
time.
Really?
And I feel like from the DJs I've met, you guys are like a tight knit family almost.
Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Brotherhood. That's 100%. Yeah.
And that's awesome because in the end of the day, you're competitors, you know, because you. But I feel like a lot of you guys have your staples in your bars, you know, so there's like a mutual respect and understanding
100%.
there, you know.
100%. I think like we're at a point right now, maybe like since 2012, 2013, we've all come to an understanding that like we know what we're strong at, we know what we're good at, we're all where we need to be.
Yeah.
We respect each other in our spaces, you know, and it's a union, really. We have like this unspoken union. Yeah. So like there's times when shit's gone down and we've all backed each other and been like, that's unacceptable.
Or like you hit me up, you're like, I forgot this wire. Like,
yeah, we got you, cover our shift, whatever.
Right.
Somebody's like not trying to pay the standard. We text each other. We know, everybody knows
That's
who's getting
awesome.
100%.
Really.
Yeah, or like if somebody's like, if I'm like, hey, I can't do this gig, but can you do it? Oh, and by the way, this is how much I charge per hour, and when it should be paid, and how it should be paid, and like that way, there's always a standard as to like, it still work for us. It's still a business, you know. Yeah.
Now, not to get too far into detail of it, but is there a standard that DJs make across the board, or does it really range per DJ?
It ranges per DJ.
Yeah. It ranges per DJ and like per location, but for the most part, we've all like worked it out where like all the DJs in West Palm are pretty talented.
Yeah.
We're all basically on the same level.
Good.
But like as you're coming up though, like you'll be, I think we did like Jumbie for like $75. Like but like literally like we were like green, like we knew
paying your dues.
We knew nothing,
Right.
and like you're basically paying for the experience to
Correct.
be like, let me play here so I can learn.
Correct.
Like I feel like DJing is one of those things that you can't learn it unless you do it. It's like if you could train MMA, you could punch a bag all you want, but until you're in a fight, you don't know.
That's a really good analogy.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, guys. I can't wait to go watch your stuff. And are you guys resident DJs anywhere? If someone really wants to come out and watch you,
Every Sunday at Lenore's.
yeah.
Best brunch in West Palm.
Hey, how about you?
12 to 4.
I am kind of all over the place. I just
Okay.
came out of DJ retirement, and I
Yep.
live in New York City. I'm back and forth from New York and Palm Beach right now, so just follow me on Instagram, Mike Wise.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out.
Cool.
We'll put your guys' Instagram handles in there. And guys, Mike is in a relationship, but hey, if you're single, ready to mingle, David is not.
And of Spanish
all
descent.
right? Catch him at your local bar.
I'll play Bad Bunny for you.
Yeah. That was weirdly specific. Yeah. You said you like Latinos and you went right to Bad Bunny. Guys, thank you for watching, listening, viewing, and subscribing. This is Mike Wise and David Paul. We will see you guys next week. Peace.
Thank you.
That was great,
Yeah,
guys.
that's awesome.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was so much fun. Thank you guys for having us on
Thank
this.
Yeah. Pour juice inside the soda, turn it over, watch it sink. Yeah. Sometimes it might be purple, sometimes it might be that pink. Probably roll that purple diesel, that shit Cuban like my links. But I really like that Cali, cause that shit don't make me trip. Rather flip a boat, nigga, I still serve a zip. I remember being broken, I was down bad on my dick. And she used to call me ugly, now lil' shawty let me hit. Wait, well maybe it's just bully, got a nigga confident. Remember all them dreams that I had when I was legit. They're like, yeah, I love the streets, but I'm still gon' go legit. Cause you know I need that German with that brand new fucking tip. Fell in love with them foreigns, watching a nigga Euro step. Got me feeling like I'm hardened, cause I'm plugged in with the ref. Like if you touch me wrong, you might get hit with this tech. Let them birds fly like a nigga crossing west. And I swear they broke my heart when I seen them. But that shit, it made me strong. Now I'm right back on my best. Like bitches, leave me alone. Why I get linked on this tech? Like little bitches, leave me alone. Unless you gonna try that neck. Like little bitches, leave me alone. Unless you talking about a check. Pour juice inside the soda, turn it over, watch it sink. Yeah, sometimes it might be purple, sometimes it might be that pink. Probably roll that purple diesel, that shit Cuban like my links. But I really like that Cali, cause that shit don't make me trip. Pour juice inside the soda, turn it over, watch it sink. Yeah, sometimes it might be purple, sometimes it might be that pink. Probably roll that purple diesel, that shit Cuban like my links. But I really like that Cali, cause that shit don't make me trip. Yeah.